What's going on, people? It's your boy DC. Uh, kind of trying to manage to do this in one take, but maybe not. Anyway, it's your boy DC, and don't got really no title for this situation, but I am DC, and I work for a couple of organizations as a director or organizer in a sense, and I'm very ambitious individuals. I just like any other person, just like you, right? Very ambitious. I'm very ambitious, and just like you, also, I want to make some money. I want to retire, right? I want success. I want the happiness, just like anybody else. So we're here sharing our experiences here today. And I'd love to hear your experiences as well, So, as they say, like, comment, subscribe, do all you can to support me, because I'm going to do my best to satisfy you and what you want to see. I'm going to do my best. You feel me? So, for starters off, I would like to get to know people. I would like for y'all to get to know each other. In the comments, I think that's one peculiar way to network, is that you can network right here, right? And right here in the comment section. So, in the comment section, you can write down what it is that you do, because you never know if someone in the comments, will find that interesting enough to entertain, work with you, hook up. You know what I'm saying? We all looking for something out here. So, yeah, let's get it, from the city of Houston. And I'm inspired by a lot of, not really a lot, because I have a very, for lack of better terms, I have a very negligent mind. I don't really have much consideration for in particulars, but I will say Kevin Samuels may have has something to do with what I'm doing right now, and not from his whole platform or what his platform serves, but how he pursued his platform more so, So I'm definitely not here to talk red pill stuff and everything. I'm kind of tired of that. I find that quite exhausting. But the real reason I'm here talking to y'all today on this particular topic is to talk about ideas and how horrible ideas are. Ideas are absolutely horrible. I can't. If I had $100, because it's kind of over exaggerated if I said if I had a nickel for every time I shared an idea with somebody, right? But if I had $100 at least, like just doing the math, okay, $1,000, whatever. If I had $1,000 for every time I shared an idea with somebody, and it went absolutely nowhere, I might be able to retire for a year or two. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, I grew up very intellectual, but only because at the age of 6 or 7, I took an interest in newspapers because of the comics, right? And going from the comics, I was going through the newspaper too, because I came to a point where I wanted to be a businessman, because I would see the business side in the newspaper. Because I just began to read through the newspaper as I got tired of the comics. I would just begin reading through the newspaper and just see all different type of things that's going on, and it kind of developed an intellectual side of me. So in case you want to raise your kid to be a very great intellectual, get them reading, get them interested in reading, get them in comics or whatever, get them some, reading, not these videos, because the thing is, these videos are not helping our kids develop intellectual skills, and I say that because the brain works harder and more efficiently when it's reading rather than it's listening. I don't have statistics for that, but I would love, to take, some kind of survey for that, and I'll write that down. Survey survey something. How you say? Survey whatchamacallit. All right. So not that I think that you're impressed right now, but I love to have pretty deep conversation. Not just let me not say deep conversation like it has to be deep, but I don't have conversation with most people nowadays because it's kind of novel. No, it's kind of novel. People have like novel just conversation, novel conversation. Like it's just like just talking about pop culture and this, that, and the other. And I come to realize that there's nothing really interesting, all that interesting to talk about. How many of you, right, uh, just talk to people and just talk aimlessly? Or how many times have y'all had like a conversation and it just didn't look like it was going anywhere? Even though you were engaging in it, you weren't really like, okay, whatever. Or you might have been, kind of intrigued and like, and good in the moment, but nothing really came from it. It was just a good conversation because we just talked about a little bit of pop culture or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We just talked about a little bit of pop culture, so it's not like, the freaking roof blew off or anything. We just had a, brief conversation about something. But why are ideas so bad? And I'm going to tell you why ideas are so bad. Some of you might work at your job, right? And you work there long enough, and it's just like, okay, kind of like this job, it can be better. And then you get to thinking of a couple things, right? You get to keep thinking of a couple things, and then you come up with this idea, and you're like, I'm going to tell my boss. I'm going to tell my manager, and he's going to love this. He's got to love this, right? Let me turn this light on over here real quick. Hold on. Here's the truth. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Here's the truth. Ideas flow down, right? They flow down. They don't flow to the side as efficiently or as smoothly. They strictly flow down, right? But constructs flow up, right? Constructs flow up and abroad. Ideas just flow down. And the reason why I say that is because you had this idea with your manager or at your job, and you wrote it down to a T, this and the other, and you shared it with your manager. Your manager never took to it, didn't he? Or didn't she? Right, because ideas don't flow up. See, you got to understand, they done spent X amount of years doing this, and they might have went to college here at Harvard, or they might have went to some Ivy League school, or they didn't go to Ivy League school, but they just really got their success off the strength of their own back, off the grit of their own back. And here you are with your high school diploma, or maybe you have something less than your boss or manager, but you have your degree, and you've been working in this field, for a couple years or 2 years or so, or just this is your first time working in this field, and they're supposed to take an idea from you. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. Like, Now you realize how dumb this sounds. Like they're supposed to take an idea from you with their whole busy day that they gotta do this and the other. Da, 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 da. That's like it's just preposterous, you know. But you're bringing them a blueprint, right? And you're telling them to build it, right? Like as you're buying a home, and you're a realtor, right? Or no, yeah, you're buying a home, and the construction people come over here and give you this blueprint. And they're like, hey, here, you're paying them somewhere down the line, so you're essentially their boss in a sense, right? You're paying them. And like, here's the blueprint. Here you go. No, now what you got to do with that blueprint? You got to take that blueprint. You got to find someone who's going to build it. You got to pay him to build it. You got to manage it, and this and the other. And it's a big headache. Ideas are not good, right? Ideas are horrible. Stop sharing your ideas with your boss. Stop sharing your ideas, you know, with your managers. Stop sharing ideas. Stop sharing ideas. Stop sharing ideas. Do your job, right? And so I'm not going to keep you on the string. I was trying to keep you on the string for a little while, but I'm not going to keep you on the string. Build it for them, right? But let them know that you're going to build it. But also already have it blueprinted out, right? Ask the essential questions, right? If your boss says, we need to raise it on, and here's the whole idea, you need to ask the essential questions like, hey, boss, I'm trying to use a non-biased situation because I don't want to use my situation because I don't want to make people feel like comparing my personal relationships. I don't want my personal relationships to make them feel like, you know, I'm just talking about them, because I'm not talking about them. But at the same time, I am, and I have great experiences with my constituents. So I'm not saying that there's nothing bad to say about it. But you need to ask your boss, you know, hey boss, if I wanted to do this, what would you need from it for me to do it? Right? You need that. All right. So he says, well, I'll let you do it if you X, Y, Z. Oh, okay. If you so now you have your blueprint. So now you got to add X, Y, Z, because you got to remember. See, this is what people don't realize. But in algebra, you were learning so much in algebra, and you didn't even realize it. You might have an equation, but you also have letters, and you're like, what the freak does letters have to do with math? And what it is a secret to value. So you have the equation, you have your blueprint, but these X's and these Y's, right, are actually pieces that you have to put in of different values. So this is the boss's demands on doing a certain thing. And so now that he has this demand to do a certain thing, in order for you to do what you feel like is a great idea, right? Add it to it, and now you have your answer, right? That's all part of the answer. So, what I'm telling y'all is, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your time sharing ideas, writing it down. And, hey, boss, what do you think about this? And you think you feel smart, but you look stupid. You know, you look real dumb. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, you look crazy. You know, so write it down, scale it out, all the way out, right? Until it's paper cut and clear, you know, what it is exactly that you are doing, or what are you going to have to do, who's involved, what's the logistics, and the other. This is why people go to college, to learn stuff like this, and that's why I was bad that you were devaluing college, right? But yes, we want to put all these things together, build it out for him, and then go, right? I think of a story of Joseph. If you go to church, or if you are familiar with the Bible, Joseph, you know, was the youngest of his brothers who was sold to slavery. who ended up in Egypt. This is in Africa, I guess, you know, or maybe in the southeastern parts of Asia. Uh, but yeah, or Europe, Asia, Asia, something like that. Anyway, but right, so he sold to slavery to Egypt, and they're going through a drought. Pharaoh's having dreams. Uh, Joseph has this amazing talent to account. He knows how to well account and how to manage and how, you know, to how to prosper. Pretty much, his dad taught him it because you know he didn't really teach all his other siblings this skill. So he wanted to make sure he taught Joseph how to account and how to manage. You know, he was his favorite son. His brothers was very jealous of him. But long story short, you know, Pharaoh has bad dreams and he needs someone to interpret them. And his magicians aren't doing a good job doing it. But he's right now, Joseph's in prison right now. He's in bondage prison. So he keeps telling people, "Hey man, spread word. I know how to interpret dreams." Right. So he gets the opportunity eventually to interpret the dream, and he's pretty much telling Pharaoh that you're gonna have a drought, and it's gonna consume. It's gonna last 7 years, right? And you need to do something about it. And so, sure enough, that drought comes. But since he's able to decipher that dream, he chooses to make Joseph, you know, a manager of a sort of his property, and he takes it from, you know, shambles and in a drought to flourishing. Before the drought hits, he's got everything up and everything is flourishing. He didn't come to Pharaoh with an idea. He already had it built out in his head. You see what I'm saying? He already had it built out in his head. So you need to make sure it's built out first. The reason why you keep running into a wall, you're not getting nowhere in life, is because you keep sharing ideas with people. Right? You keep sharing ideas with people. Now, the ideas only flow down because ideas implement that you are a boss and you're in control. And you're not the boss and you're not in control. So when you share ideas with your friends and you wonder why nothing happens, that's because they don't respect you. They don't see you like that. They don't see you like a leader like that. You're their equal. All right? But as soon as my friend, right, he might talk a good game about this, that, and the fifth, but it was until we got the product right in front of us and the opportunity, right? That was the only time we took initiative and to make things happen. That's the only time we took initiative to make things happen, because the product was right there and we had work to do. We had a goal in mind because the product's right here, and we want to make this much. So now that it's here, we can do something with it. But your ideas are very condescending on people. So you can do that as a boss because you have the right to condescend as a boss, as a leader. I know that's not a real nice word, right? Matter of fact, let's look up the word condescending. Like, this is me when I was a kid. I was real deep for words. Condescending. Condescending, having or showing feeling of patronizing superiority. Like, I'm not making these words up. Let's look at the word patronizing. All right. Apparently kind or helpful, but betraying a feeling of superiority. Right? So you're just coming down. So it's just a superiority, but you're making them feel lesser than what they are. So you really do sound condescending when you're bringing your ideas to your boss. Like, who are you? And they'll be kind about it. Like, oh, it's a great idea. You know, They might even say, "We'll think about that." He don't got time to think about that. He has other things to run. That's why he's the boss. That's why he has managers. That's why he has district managers. That's why he has all these different positions because that's what they're supposed to be doing. So if you can't build an inconvenience for him or her, right, then just forget about it. It's all I'm saying. I'm trying to look into the camera, but I keep looking at myself because I look so doggone good. So, yeah, stop sharing your ideas. And I'm coming to a close at this, right? We're coming to the end of this, and I hope y'all encourage me and share ideas with me on how to, you know, how to monetize my situation. I don't mind taking my ideas because y'all ideas, right? Because I see y'all greater than me, right? Y'all greater than me because you viewed this for 20 minutes. Y'all are greater than me because of your feedback and your intelligence and your knowledge. So I see you in a higher light, so I don't mind taking your ideas. Okay? That's how that works. You see how that works? But yeah, nevertheless, that's all I'm saying. Like, stop sharing your ideas, build it out, right? Get all your components together, figure out what all the requirements are for the situation, and begin. If it requires people to be involved, begin to build that trust. Begin be authentic. Do what you say, believe what you do. Um, uh, Take accountability for yourself and hold others accountable. You know what I'm saying? This is the only way you're going to win the trust that you need in order for your ideas to turn into constructs, or hypothetical constructs, and also for them to turn into or to manifest into fruition. So again, I thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if there is a link down here to support me financially, please check that link out and do so. It's your boy DC, and y'all have a nice day.